Good afternoon and welcome. It is a different video today. I am doing a prediction for the Premiership which starts this weekend. Obviously I'm doing it today when the transfer window shuts because there's still a lot of activity going on. It may totally change before then, so you never know. We may need to do another one on the 1st of September because I think people are going to make a lot of different signings between now and then, and that is obviously going to change predictions because they could change the team from being maybe a mid-table team to pushing up there, or some of these the bottom league teams, and they make a good signing which could then progress them up. So let's start off with first person I predict in 20th place is, I'm afraid, it is going to be Huddersfield Town. It's going to be great for them to finally see them in the Premiership. They're probably a bit like Bournemouth a few years ago, both them and Brighton, where nobody predicted them to finish where they did. They have got a good manager. David Wagner seems to be a really good manager, but I just don't think they've got enough to stay in the Premiership this year. In 19th place, it was a toss-up between, I've got four at the bottom, and it could have been any one of these, but it is going to be Brighton. It would be great, again, a bit like Huddersfield, it would be great for them to stay up. I really like Brighton, the way they play football. They were probably the best team in the Premiership, in the Championship last year. Obviously, Newcastle did win it, but I still think Brighton were the better team. And maybe they could do a bit like Bournemouth did a few years ago and actually surprise a few people and stay up. But at the moment, I still think they're going to finish 19th. In 18th place, I've predicted Burnley. Last year, they stayed up just on the home form itself. But obviously, they've lost a few key players. The biggest one for them, still think, is going to be Michael Keane, who has come back. Well, he's not even come back, but he has joined my team, Everton, which is going to be brilliant. They did get £30 million for him, but I don't think they've invested it wisely. The likes of Julian Walters and Phil Bardsley, people like that, I don't think it's going to be enough to keep them in the Premiership. So, for me, I've put them in 18th place. They could have been 17th for me, but I have put them in 18th because the other team I've picked in 17th place is Swansea. And at the moment, they haven't strengthened enough as well, but obviously Everton are still involved with Sigurdsson. If, and hopefully when he does come to Everton, that is then going to give them £50 million for them to then go and try and add to their team. And they have been in the Premiership for a few years now, so with that £50 million, if they do go and invest wisely in the right people at the right time, they could hopefully get out of the relegation battle. So at the minute, I have just put them above Burnley to stay up. From 16th all the way up to 8th, this could absolutely go in any order. So whoever is watching this, if you do support one of them teams, I'm sorry, this is what I feel at this time. In 16th place, I have put Watford. They have made some few signings, the likes of Tom Cleverley, and the likes coming in. But the way they change managers, they're not going to get a star going. Obviously, they've got Silva, who was at Hull last year. So he has a little bit about the Premiership, but I just don't see them doing better than the teams above them. In 15th place, this is where I've put, and hopefully this is where they stay, because they've got a fantastic fan base. It's great to see them back in the Premiership. But the champions from the Championship last year, I have put in 15th place. They've probably not bought as many as I thought they were going to do, like they've done in previous years. But I have put them in 15th place, so hopefully they can do that and then they can build from there. And I think if you talk to any Newcastle fan, including True Georgie, who I love to watch, I think they would be happy if Newcastle were actually in the Premiership at the end of the year and then build from there. They don't want to start just thinking, oh, well, we can go higher and higher. The team I have put in 14th place is Stoke City. They have got Mark Hughes there. He's been there for roughly about 5 years now. they've lost probably one of their brightest players in Arnautovic, and I know, like some of the players we've had previously, he is a bit of a hot and cold player, and on his day, he is unstoppable. But you've still got to replace them, and I don't think they've replaced them well. They have got Kurt Zouma in from Chelsea to play at the back. That may be a really, really good signing. So again, they might then start going back to the old Stoke way of keeping the clean sheets and then try and progress from there. But I don't think they've got enough going forward to score too many goals compared with what they let in. So I have put Stoke in 14th. In 13th place, I've put West Bromwich Albion. They've signed a few players, but I don't think they've signed enough quality. They have got Jay Rodriguez, who may, if he can get rid of his injury problems, may be an absolutely fantastic signing for him. But it's that maybe. You don't know what's going to happen throughout the course of the year because he has had his problems at Southampton. And also they've let a few key players go, such as Darren Fletcher, who's just gone to Stoke, who we said that they're going to probably swap positions. So I have got West Brom in at 13th because they have got Tony Pulis, who is a great Premiership manager who knows how to keep them really tight and everything. But I can't see him being above some of the others, even though they had a fantastic season last year. In 12th place, I've actually put Southampton in 12th place because, again, this could be totally different in a few weeks' time. They might actually be even lower down because obviously, as of yesterday, Virgil van Dijk actually put in a transfer request. And obviously, if he does move, depending on which big club he goes to, they're going to have a bit more money to spend. And I think they really do need to spend because they've lost quite a few key players over the last few years and they've managed to bring people in, but they haven't brought enough in throughout the summer at the moment. So it is going to be really, really strange to see where they actually end up because, like I say, they could make some key signings and actually go above, but if they don't strengthen, they might start slipping down as well. So they might actually be even lower down. So we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. In 11th, I have actually put Leicester City. It looks like Mahrez is going to be going. I know yesterday Roma did have a 30 million bid turned down. I think it's been told that they've asked Roma for 50 million for Mahrez. Obviously, they've made a few good signings. Iniacho up front from Man City. I was hoping that Everton might put a little bid in for him because every time he's played, he has scored goals. And that's just coming off the bench. He's not started many games and scored goals. So it would be good to see what he actually does. And somebody like Vardy next to him, with the speed and pace they've got, might be a nice little partnership going there. So you never know. That again, they may go up. But obviously, there is talks of Danny Drinkwater and Andy and Conte from Chelsea talking to Leicester about trying to buy him. And obviously, that's going to weaken their midfield. So at the moment, I have put him in 11th place. In 10th place, and this was a toss-up between 9th and 10th, but I have put Crystal Palace in 10th. I think they've made a few good signings, and I know quite a few people are going to be interested how they go because last year, when you've got the likes of Zaha going forward and the pace he's got and Benteke putting them in, looks really good. They've got a nice, strong team, but they've got Frank de Boer in. And I know this time last year we were talking, before we got Ronald Koeman, there was talks of Frank de Boer going to Everton. And I looked on some of the feeds and they were talking about when he was at Ajax and a lot of their fans were saying he had a slow build-up play. They were really defensive and I was kind of relieved it didn't come to us. He then went to Inter Milan and he didn't do it in Inter Milan. So I don't know how he's going to progress in the Premiership. But when I used to have a season ticket, that when the Crystal Palace used to come, it used to be great because they have got absolutely fantastic support down there. They have got that tight little pitch, tight stadium where the fans are right on top of you. So if they could do something, you never know, they might come a bit higher up. It just depends on how Frank de Boer likes to play it. But at the moment, I have put him in 10th. And in 9th place, I have put AFC Bournemouth. They've made some fantastic signings in real key areas. Begovic from Chelsea, Aki from Chelsea. Defoe up front is going to be another key area for Bournemouth. I think they've strengthened in the right areas, which is fantastic. And I can see them building on what they had last year. I think, did they actually finish 8th though last year? Or 9th? So again, it's going to be roughly in the same area. In 8th place, I've put West Ham. I've put West Ham there because I think they've made some really, really good signings. The fact that they've brought in Arnautovic, Joe Hart from Man City on loan, and then I think the biggest one is Javier Hernandez. Absolutely really good signing, especially for £16 million. I did think we might put in a bid for him for £16 million. Played at Man United, always scored when he had the opportunities. That could be key for them. Obviously, they did struggle last year, and that was because they were playing at the London Stadium. First time there, big area. They're not like Upton Park where the fans are right on top of you, putting that pressure on. But hopefully they've got used to that now, and it may change now. They look like they could do well with the signings they made. And it looks like Slaven Bilic now is actually having more of a key role in the signings. I think last year a lot of players got brought in, but I don't know if Slaven Bilic actually had the opportunity to pick them players or whether it was the board going forward. So for me, I've got West Ham in 8th place. In 7th place, at the moment, and I still think this is going to be key, depending on when the transfer window closes, to see who they've signed. But it's going to be my team, Everton. I have put us in 7th at the moment. We have made some really good signings. The fact that we've got Pickford in, he looks already pre-season and in the Europa game last week, he did look really commanding for a 23-year-old. His distribution is absolutely fantastic. His awareness around the box, the way he talks to his defence, looks a really, really good signing. I know he's paid a little bit of, I think it was about £30 million with the add-ons. So a big fee, but I still think he's going to be a really good player. Michael Keane really slots straight into that straight into centre defence. That looks a really good signing for us. But I still think we need key. Obviously, we've got Wazza back, which is absolutely fantastic. He loves us inside out. So you'll see a regenerated Wayne Rooney next year. We have got Sandro in from Malaga, but I still think we need that striker. He's already talked about it, Ronald Koeman. We still need a striker. We still need winger. And I think we need cover for Seamus Coleman. Obviously, he's going to be out probably still till about Christmas. So we need that right defence sorting out. So at the moment, I don't think we're going to progress more than 7th. We have got Europa League as well. So obviously that's going to put a bit more pressure on the squad. But the likes of Clarkson coming in. I think it's going to depend on what happens with Ross Barkley. Obviously, he's not gone yet. He's supposed to have turned around £120,000 a week from Everton, but then there's talks of Tottenham, but they won't break their wage structure to sign him. So I don't see where he's actually going to go. So hopefully he might just do a U-turn, sign a contract, because I still think we need him in that midfield. I think he's a really good player, but we'll just have to wait and see. In 6th, people may laugh, may put some stupid comments in there, but let's see what happens. In 6th place, at the moment, I have put Tottenham Hotspur. And you're probably thinking, what? They've finished 2nd for the last 2 years. Or 3rd in the 2nd. But it's all about playing at Wembley next year. Every single team playing against Tottenham have got there's 19 different teams coming to play at Wembley. Some of them have probably never played at Wembley before. They're going to get the chance to play at Wembley because of White Hart Lane being knocked down and regenerated. So everybody's going to be wanting to win. And also, Tottenham have got to get used to that big pitch. It's a lot bigger than what they're used to. The stadium is not going to be the same as White Hart Lane. I think they may struggle. Plus the fact they've let Kyle Walker go, and fantastic, they got £50 million. Only Man City could pay £50 million for Kyle Walker. But they haven't invested that money into the team. They may still do, because I know David Levy always seems to like to leave it to the last minute and beat us like they did with Sissoko last year. But again, he never played. They paid £30 million for him. So let's see. But they have got Champions League football as well. So again, they're not strengthening that team. And I think that's what they struggled with last year with key injuries, such as Harry Kane, who for me is probably the best striker in the league at the moment. He's absolutely fantastic. They have got Dele Alli, but you need these players around them, and I don't see them doing much more. So I've put them in 6th. In 5th place, and again, some people may laugh at this one as well, but I've put Liverpool. And I still think this could actually change if Coutinho goes. Yeah, they're going to lose Coutinho, but they're going to get quite a bit of money for him. And then they buy the likes of Virgil van Dijk. It boosts their defence. And I think that's where they're lacking at the minute. Going forward, they are fantastic. And as an Everton fan, it is really bad to say, but I do like watching them go forward. The fact they've got pace in Mane, they've now got Salah, they have got Sturridge who's fit when he's fit with his pace. Solanke, they've got on a tribunal from Chelsea. They don't know how much they're going to pay for him yet though. Firmino, all these players going forward with pace, and they go with such a speed at that, they do terrorise defences. But when you've got the likes of Burnley who just sat back in a 2 banks of 4, or even a 4 and a 5, you can't break it through. And then they go and break and they win 1-0 because they're not good enough defensive. I still think they should have probably bought Begovic. Would have been a better goalkeeper than Mignolet. They still need to be buying new centre-back. So for me, at the moment, I have put Liverpool in 5th place. So in 4th place, and again, this could totally change. The top 6, I think I did it about 3 or 4 times to try and find it in. But I have put Arsenal. They have strengthened in the right places. Lacazette, absolutely fantastic striker from League 1. They brought him in, finally. They've been talking about it for years. He's finally come in. At the moment, they've still got Sanchez. They've still got Ozil. They've still got the Ox. You've got your Walcott. You've got all that team going forward. Defensively, still think they probably need 1 or 2 more players defensively. But they're always there or thereabouts. Arsene Wenger, love him or hate him, still managed to get them round about 4th, and I still think they've got enough over the course of the year to beat Liverpool to 4th place. So I've put them in there. The top 3, now you've got Man City, Chelsea, Man United. You could put them in any order, but from watching a few games, at the moment I have put Manchester United in 3rd place. The reason that is, yes, they've strengthened in the right areas. The centre-back they've bought in from Portugal strengthens their defence, but I still don't know if he's going to get past Smalling and Bailly. They bought Matic from Chelsea, which I think reassures their defence. They've got that midfielder player just to sit in front of them. And then the likes of Pogba next year could play further forward, which then brings out his more creative side. Obviously, they did buy Lukaku from Everton. We did watch him quite a bit last year. And people think they've done well. They've bought the 75 million in. But after watching the match against Real Madrid last night, I think it did show some of the qualities he still needs to build up on. We're not being salty, but you speak to every Everton fan, 90 million with the add-ons and Wayne Rooney is absolutely fantastic transfer for us, because yes, he does score a lot of goals, but his hold-up play and his touch, it needs working on. We saw some of the decisions he makes as well, like last night when Herrera's breaking through and he only had to get into an onside position and Herrera could have played in. But no, he went and took the ball off Herrera. What's that? I don't think he's a finished article. He is a fantastic player, and I loved watching him to play when he scores his goals, but the rest of it is not enough. So I can't see them beating Chelsea or Man City to the 1st and 2nd position. So I have put Man United in 3rd. In 2nd place, I have actually put last year's champions, Chelsea. And again, it's all about strengthening that team. They've lost the likes of Matic. Costa. What is happening with Costa? If you don't want to play for Chelsea, come and play for Everton. We would love you to play somebody like that up front. I think they've really shot themselves in the foot by saying to Costa that they don't want him anymore. So I still think they need to sort that out, because I don't think Morata is any better. At this present time, I've only seen a bit of him playing. I can't see him adapting to the Premiership like Costa has. Yes, he has got a bad reputation, he's got a bad temperament, but sometimes I think you need that in football, and I don't know how they're going to work it next year. Hazard, are we going to see when he gets back from his injury, Hazard from last year, or Hazard from 2 years ago when Jose Mourinho was there still and he did nothing? So I have put them in second place. So that means that I have put Manchester City as number one, and I do think they're going to be champions. If you look at that team, they've just spent roughly about 150 million just to sort that defence out. Obviously, they've not sorted the centre-backs out, but they have brought in the likes of Danilo, Kyle Walker and Mendy from Monaco. They've also brought Ederson from Benfica to play in goal as well. So again, that's going to reassure that goalkeeper position, because obviously you know what happened last year with their goalkeepers. So I think that makes them a bit stronger. The likes of Silva they've brought in as well from Monaco as well is going to really strengthen their midfield up. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus, who signed from the last year, was a really revelation when he first started, then got injured. So you've got the likes of Aguero and Jesus, you've got Sterling up front. You go through the whole of their team is a really, really strong team. And if Pep Guardiola can do it next year, I still personally don't think he's that good of a manager from what he's done before. He was at Barcelona. He had the best team. Of course he's going to win. Went to Bayern Munich. Best team. He won that. But he hasn't really done anything yet for Man City, because he's having to build a team, and it's not like him to having to build a team. But I still think they've got enough next year to beat everybody. So obviously that is the league going forward. I still think, like I said, it could change from now to the end of the transfer market. If we come back on the 1st of September, look at who people have signed, it's going to be different. People will start laughing. And again, such as like my team, Everton, the first 6 games, we've got 5 of the who finished in the top 6 last year. So after the first month, we may be back down the bottom, but then we've got a nice run of games. We get a nice build-up, and then we'll see us shooting up the league. And hopefully we've bought them nice players as well in between that area. So let's see what happens at the end of the transfer window. But for now, that is my predictions for 2017-2018. Thank you.